somebody will say, I'm 100% sure that in 2 years from COVID vaccines, everybody's going to have, a sixth finger. And you go, really? How sure are you of that? Like, would you bet, $25 on that, just so there's like a public accounting of that? And they're like, okay, well, that might happen, but it's probably not that probable, right? All of a sudden, their opinion starts to map onto reality a lot more, which I think says more scary things about their predictions, because it seems like now they do have an accurate model of what could happen in the world, but they just weren't forecasting that out loud until money became involved. So I'm a big fan of, here at Manifold, you guys use, play money, which, as much of a joke as that sounds, apparently is doing really good at being predictive of things happening in the real world. But I'm a big fan of having a public ledger, basically, so that when somebody says, I listen to X, Y, or Z political figure, I can look up somewhere and I go, oh, well, that guy lost the last 52 bets that he made on electoral outcomes. Maybe this guy's political opinion is dog. I like that.
This matches all of my own experience, including with challenging figures to bets. I will just say that when somebody challenged me to 150 to 1, I think it was, on aliens, UFOs, having a world model breaking origin, I took them up for 150,000 of that. So I walk the walk. All right, so I think this topic was a failure because we don't actually disagree. This is like how this is how politics should be done. We both try to do it.
Well, here's a question. I'm curious, okay, and I'm a radical on this because I've been in online political stuff now for so long. I'm a big fan of a lot of accountability because no matter what I do, I'm always held accountable. Do you think there should be like a forced market that if you want to be some sort of social or political commentator or AI or anything, I guess, if you're entering opinions into the public domain, should you be compelled? We'll say culturally for now. Should you be compelled to be tracking these bets somewhere?
I think that introduces a bias toward legibility. And I think that sometimes things are legitimately harder to legibilize. Also, there's a huge problem with betting on the destruction of Earth in particular. But leaving that aside, we actually also, Brian Kaplan and I tried to overcome that by having Brian Kaplan, like, give me $1,000 and then I owe him $2,000 if the world doesn't end, is that basic theory.
Wait, what's the, I've had that idea before, for Doomsday people, it's like, oh, well, let's just do like loans that expire past your supposed expiration of the Earth. How do people engage with that? I'm curious.
So I'm very unsure about timing. And I do not have like a doomsday date, and I do not want to leave my neck hanging over a cliff if things take longer than one might expect, as one might well expect, as it were. But